false evidence appearing real? Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your October Soul session. I am Marlo. If you are new and if you are family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot or whatever. If you are not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality, okay, as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, and guidance. And apparently there's a card that really needed to come out for you guys. I love that when I sat down to do your reading, I was compelled to use this particular deck, and I have not used this one in a while. If you're curious as to what it is, because something, I got sick of the autofocus and, just stopped showing my cards because it was just too much going on, But I changed my setup, and right before I started your reading, I just want to go ahead and thank you, Cancer, because I figured out how it's not focusing, how to make it focus, and I have to do the makeup girl hand. Oh gosh, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. It just worked. Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, it's still not working. It totally worked before I turned the camera on, I swear. Oh, there it is. Makeup girl hand. You can see the card. So thank you for your energy, Cancer. You may have solved my perils. So anywho, the first card that you guys have out is the Four of Cups in the reverse. So here is the deal, my wonderful Cancer friend. Coming out of September and into October, it's looking like that you guys spent most of September at a stalemate with yourself. I could not honestly say that I remember what I said in you guys reading for September at the moment, but I do feel that that energy was very present, where it's more or less, it's a place that you are within yourself in which you can't go backwards. Like that's not an option. It's not a possibility for you guys to go back to the way that things were, but it's not yet sure how to proceed forward. So I call that being at a stalemate with yourself as opposed to with someone else. So it's being caught between your past and your future. I feel the most beautiful thing about that is there's a desire within you that aspires to move forward, right? Because it's just not knowing where to go, but it's knowing that even though the past may not be an option, the door may be closed, it's knowing that you wouldn't want to go back there anyway. It's just a fear-based kind of energy in relation to not knowing what the next step is and wanting to be sure that what that step is. Now, another thing I have to say in reference to this that I think is extremely important for you guys to consider, especially with this Seven of Coins in the reverse coming out, is to keep in mind of opportunities that may be around you. So this would really be speaking to a pessimistic way of thinking, if you will. So it's more or less there needing to be something you guys need to act on. There needs to be a step that's taken. We know that it's not a back step, if you will, right? But it's not knowing how to move forward. However, being in a situation where I feel there's like this unction within you where something needs to be done. So if I were to put this into a tangible format, again, like I said, with the Seven of Coins and the reverse coming out, this could very well be something that requires money. So this could be a move that needs to happen, or if it's a job that, one left, or, the company shut down, or I heard this from another YouTuber, or, the Vaseline. You did not get the Vaseline. So you had to leave that particular place, but it's something that ended, and it's not an option to go backwards. It's just not knowing what's next, but there's pressing concerns. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably intricately related to money, right? So there's a little bit of impatience that's being provoked where one feels they need to act, but it's not knowing how, right? So it's kind of the equivalent of you left one job, right? And you're applying for other jobs because you need a job because you have bills to pay, right? But it's, you have to wait on the process of employment. You have to wait on callbacks. You have to wait for your second interview, but it's this desire to need money now. Now, and this is really strange. It's very specific. Um, what I just heard was Uber Eats. As many of you may know, in the last few months, many of us have endured and are still enduring in the aftermath of numerous natural disasters, be it hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, flooding, and for some, volcanoes. I myself and many in New Orleans and its surrounding areas are still rebuilding from Hurricane Ida. So I can say from experience that recovering from losses of this caliber aren't easy. However, neglecting your mental health during a time such as this is. And that's why on October 10th, for World Mental Health Day, and the entire month of October, I'm allying with BetterHelp and WKYS FM to raise awareness of mental health issues around the world. So whether you're a survivor of one of the recent disasters, just need someone to talk to, or you're ready to start your mental health journey, I've partnered with BetterHelp to assist you in making this month the month you make your mental health a priority. If you haven't heard of them, BetterHelp is an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a licensed therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat, and you can even text them between sessions. So if you, my beautiful human friend, or someone you know, has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. The link to sign up is in the description box below this video. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this message. You know I love your face. Now, let's get back to your soul session. Woo! Okay, so here's the thing. If I were to make this very specific, not saying that the whole reading is going to be about this particular Cancerian's energy that I'm picking up on now, and not saying that it specifically has to be Uber Eats, but say if this really is a situation with a job and it's having left this company for whatever reason, company shut down or Vaseline, you didn't get one, whatever the case, right? And you need to make money in order to pay your bills. It's taking too long for, these jobs to call you back. With me hearing Uber Eats, it would be kind of taking power into your own hands. So that would speak to how I was talking about the pessimism. It's that fear of, I need to do this now, I need to act now, go, 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 right? Which is understandable. You got bills to pay, right? But there's an opportunity or something that's being overlooked with this Four of Cups in the reverse, right? So even though there's a desire to move forward, I feel it's like the mindset that you guys are in. And I said this to someone last month. I can't remember if it was you guys or someone else, but I was speaking about when we get into survival mode, right? Whenever we're in a situation and it's like make or break, I have to do this. And I really feel it was you guys that I said this to. You get into this position where we kind of snuff spirit out. It's very hard to hear your intuition because your mind is filled with anxious thoughts. It's like, what if I can't pay my rent? Or what if I can't make the car note? Or, what if this happens? What if that? And with your mind constantly running, why aren't these people calling me back? Well, I'm going to call them. And why is this taking so long? When you're in that state of mind all day, there could be things that spirit is offering, right? Or things that would require a little bit of creative thinking, like thinking outside of the box, right? Because when we're in survival mode, it puts us in the box, and there's a need to think outside of the box. But it's understandable because there's very tangible 3D things that need to be done here. But I feel the messages with this Cancer coming into the month of October, your blessing is going to be thinking outside the box, or seeing that there's opportunities there that the survival mode pessimism, because not saying you guys are pessimists, but it's a survival mode pessimism that's preventing you guys from seeing an opportunity. Now, to bring it to me hearing Uber Eats, that opportunity could be that, you were in a whole nother, line of work, right? And you're thinking about applying for all of these jobs. I need money, I need to get another job. But it's like overlooking something like, if you need to pay your light bill or you need to make that car note, that maybe doing Uber Eats or DoorDash or, Uber or, what is that other app that they have? It's like pickup. And if you have experience like working in restaurants and, cashier experience and things of the sort, you can pick up a person's shift. So like if a person calls out sick, you can pick up that person's shift for them, right? So there's a myriad of different options. It may not be the ideal option. It may not be in the direction that you're looking into because, if you're a molecular physicist, you're looking at molecular physicist jobs, right? But if it comes down to a crunch time to where I need to make money, that's an option that you may not be considering, as opposed to, kind of looking at the phone and waiting for these people to call you back or checking your email every 5 minutes, right? It's something that you can do to gain control over your life. It doesn't have to be a career path for you. It's just something that can remove that survival mode that you're in to solve that problem so you can start to think clearly. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Now, the next card that we have is the Justice in the Reverse. That is Libra energy. Y'all can sort of kind of see it. That is Libra energy. And what this is really speaking to here, Cancer, is Saturn. So Saturn goes direct on the 10th of this month in Aquarius. I can't remember what degree it's at the present moment, but it goes direct on the 10th of this month. So that's going to be epic shifts and changes for everyone, right? It's almost like a change of, I'm not going to say change of fate. It's more of a change of destiny, if you will, because I like to look at destiny as something that we do ourselves. It's the choices that we make to manifest our destiny, right? It's the byproduct of the choices that we're making. So I feel here, and this has me also picking up on this Mercury retrograde energy, which is markedly different because we are in Mercury retrograde in Libra. Mercury went retrograde on the 26th of September, and it's going to go direct on the 18th of October, right? So the week after Saturn goes direct, Mercury is going to go direct. And I say this not to just, boggle you with astrological things of the sort, but it's a change of destiny for everyone. So during this particular time frame, there's a valuable lesson one must learn. And slowly but surely, bits and pieces of bits and pieces of you guys' soul session from last month is coming back to me. It's like, as I'm talking, it's so funny. I keep getting flashes of different things I said. So you guys' soul session last month was very similar to this. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was speaking to you guys about passions and desires, right? And how, yes, this is a carryover from last month. So you guys are still in that situation from last month where it was this very, survival mode type of thing. And you're thinking, I need to make money. I need to make money. And the whole message of the soul session in September was all about you guys realizing that you can do something to make money that you're also passionate about, or you can make money off of your passion, right? But it was being in this sense of duress, right? Or in survival mode that was preventing you all from seeing that, because it's produce, perform, hashtag grind culture. You know what I'm saying? So with this Justice in the Reverse, it's really speaking to that this season is ending for you all. So Cancers, if we were to backtrack with this is an epic karmic cycle for you guys. And karma always relates back to, what we sow, so shall we reap. There's lessons to be learned here, right? Even more so with this particular retrograde and Jupiter retrograde co-occurring with all of this, right? So there's a very valuable lesson for you guys to learn during this season. But I say that this is confirmation in the sense, much like this Four of Cups is, of the fact that you guys are focused forward, right? There is no desire to go backwards, but this is an energetic wrap up, meaning that it's not just about, if this was a job, hypothetically speaking, it's not just about the thing that happened in 3D that ended, that got you into this particular situation, right? It's a higher vibrational frequency that's very much etheric, higher self spirit related that's wrapping up here. This is just the 3D manifestation of what it is that's happening in the ethereal. And it's that this was a season in order to learn a lesson in reference to how it is that you present. If we were to put it into a didactic format, we would be talking about masculine and feminine here. This is being very in tune to one's divine masculinity, which is logic, solving problems, action, building, right? And it's about mastering that feminine side, which is that receptivity. It's that belief, it's that connection, it's following the vibes, which is something I know that Cancerians are really good at. You guys are all about the vibes. A person could not even say a word to you and you're just like, I'm not feeling that vibe, son. Your energy is a little, you know what I'm saying? So this is more or less like a positive message, Cancer. Like, this is the light at the end of the tunnel with this justice in the reverse, right? But it's also a reminder, right? When Saturn goes direct for the entire collective, it's the wrap up of a karmic cycle, but we're all walking away with something. And it's what it is that we sowed, right? So it's not like, peril, misery, or punishment or anything like that. It's just whatever you put into this cycle, that's what you're going to get out. And I feel the thing that spirit is trying to get you guys to embrace, like the possibilities that the universe is intending to impregnate you with, my Cancerian friend, is a beautiful one, because it's literally the fire and the lifeblood of existence as a human being on planet Earth. And that's passion, purpose, and meaning, right? Even if it's not your main career, if it's something you're just doing on the side, to be able to implement that into your life is the pathway to happiness, if that makes sense. So this is a gift, my friend. The next card you guys have is the Devil in the reverse. So I like to say with this, that's Capricorn energy, by the way. I always like to say with the Devil, I always mess this up, that too much of a good thing is not a good thing. I always say that really wrong, but this is too much of a good thing, right? This is exactly what I was speaking about here. When I was talking about the off-kilter nature of your masculine and your feminine energy, there's a need for there to be an equilibrium here, right? So it's super dope that you're practical and you're being realistic. I need money. I need to focus on this. Like, I really love this hobby and all, but it ain't about to make me no money. Like, that is a very valuable thing to have existing in you, but at the same time, you have to counterbalance it. So this is interesting, Cancer. This is very much well, not the very same, but it's eerily similar to your reading from last month. It's literally a continuation of what it is that happened with you guys last month, right? So it's still being in this space, but it's still speaking to that same dynamic of there needing to be a balance here, right? So it's still speaking back to this Four of Cups of the fact that there's opportunities here, but it's just not in the area in which you're looking. But at the same time, I totally get it, right? Because like I told you guys last month, when you're in survival mode, it's really hard to be on some woo-woo, I'm going to meditate and just, hear out for spirit type of jam. You know what I mean? So I totally get it. I want to clarify that. Devil in the reverse. I don't know why. I have the sense to do it, so I am going to do it. Sorry for shuffling in your ear, Cancer. Whoa, good Lord, in America. Okay. Interesting. We have prison and falseness. I think, wait, hold on. There we go. We have Cancer. I love your energy. Thank you for helping me learn how to use my autofocus like a makeup YouTuber. Thank you. But we have falseness and we have prisoner with this Devil in the reverse. So that's confirmation. When we talk about this falseness and prison, and God forbid, if this came out for you guys last month, I really feel like it did, not the falseness, but the prison. But this is a false prison. It is a prison of one's own making, right? The only reason why this devil is in the reverse is the key is this is something to overcome, right? And it's the thing you need to overcome, right? Or what, not what you need to, but what the goal would be. The suggestion, Cancer, would be for you guys to overcome this false prison of the mind. The only reason why this prison exists, because this is very much like the Eight of Swords energy, the only reason why homegirl is stuck is because she's not listening to her intuition or her extrasensory perception, right? With her extrasensory perception, you could, and some of you may be like this, those of you who, you know, have your gifts and things, but I would even say all of humanity. If you were to close your eyes, right? Or even if we think about, because I'm seeing this young guy I saw a documentary about, he was blind and he used clicking to know where things were, and he rode a bike and everything. So if you think about that same concept of clicking and sound, the person who's in the Eight of Swords, right, is not being resourceful, because we see looking at her that the swords are just behind her. So she may have, like, you know, step back and be like, oh God, that's a sword. But the path is clear to follow through moving forward. But what happened is that she's imprisoned by her own fear, right? And oh my gosh, I am hearing my ex-father-in-law in my head right now, God rest his soul. He used to always say, because he was a pastor, he used to always say a lot of times in sermons that fear is false evidence appearing real. Thank you, Carly. False evidence appearing real. That's what this false prison is, right? So going back to this Eight of Swords analogy, that resourcefulness that's being robbed from you all by being in this state of duress, right? This state of survival instinct, that's going all the way to one side of the Likert scale of divine masculine energy, which distorts it, right? It's axing out the divine feminine energy, which is that receptivity, which would be that alternative perspective. If we think of Four of Cups upright, it's the disembodied hand holding the cup out of the cloud. You know, that's an opportunity that is borderlining on the miraculous, right? Or something that would require a level of creative thinking in order to obtain, like spiritual, like intuition, like something that's like, do this, do that, try this type of thing. So this is something that's very much present. It's something that spirit is trying to offer you, right? But it's the fear winning in this battle. So if we were to really look at this, Cancer, as like a battle between dark and light, the dark would be winning because of the false evidence appearing real. It feels like you're really in a prison in real life. It really seems like you're bound. It really seems like there's no way out of this situation, right? It really seems like you're stuck. You can't go backwards. You can't go forwards. You're desperately waiting for answers and solutions. But this is one of those things where we say that, you know, everything that you need is already here. The solution to this challenge that you guys are facing is here. The only thing that will allow you to see it, going back to this Eight of Swords, is removing the blinders from your eyes. The blinder that's over her eyes is the fear, the false evidence appearing real. It's the swords behind her. Because they're behind her, she also assumes that they're before her and that she's trapped. But if you notice, those of my tarot enthusiasts out there, in the Eight of Swords, there's a path of water between her feet. And if she were to just follow that, she could find her way out. That's symbolic of our emotional space, water sign Cancer, the deepest of them all. Okay, so maybe y'all aren't Scorpio's like abyss, but you know, y'all are deep nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? But you being a water sign, that's your nature, right? But it's conditioning, it's life, it's, you know, happenstance that happens that brings us away from ourselves. So this is all about bringing you back to yourself, Cancer. So truth be told, there is no prison. right? You're really not stuck. It may seem so, but it's a need to not put your trust and your faith and your belief in what it is that you're seeing outside of you, right? It's like it's looking at everything in 3D and taking that as truth. And those of you who've been with me for some time know that that is something I am always telling people, that everything on planet Earth, everything here is in the process of dying or it's already dead. In 3D, we exist in the past tense, right? Those of you who used to be Christians and Catholics and things, or just know the Our Father's prayer, that's why it says on earth as it is, present tense in heaven, meaning in the ethereal realm, that's what is, right? Everything here is past tense. It's the byproduct of what has already been in the ethereal. So the true cheat code to life, I always say it's a therapist, but the true cheat code to etheric life, right? The meta life, right? The cheat code to that is attuning to the ethereal, because that's how everyone could be what people would call clairvoyant and clairaudient and psychic and intuitive and things of the sort, is if you can pass the proverbial throne of the high priestess and go behind the veil, then you would know what is, like everyone who ventures behind that veil. And when you know what is, then you can align your physical life accordingly to go into this crash course of both destiny and fate. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But this is really what we're talking about you guys doing. Now, of course, that sounds extremely lofty-minded. Indeed, it does. But I'm speaking in the ethereal sense of what is happening in 3D. In 3D, you guys lost something, or there's a path that has ended for you all, a timeline that has ended, right? And one does not know how to move forward from that. There are very tangible 3D needs that are present for you all that you feel responsible to take care of, but it's almost as if life is working against you, so it seems. But there's a way out of it. But in order to get out of it, there's a need to listen, to attune to your inner wisdom and guidance, right? To, close your eyes to see clearly. And an opportunity will be offered to you, an idea or an inspiration will come to you that will show you that this prison that you're proverbially in, that the door's unlocked, right? But as long as we're fixated on the prison, on the structure, right? On the blindfold, our hands tied behind our back, all the swords behind us, right? Then we become a prisoner to the false evidence appearing real, my friend. And at the bottom of you guys' deck, we have the 3 of Cups in the reverse. I get it, Cancer. You guys aren't feeling very celebratory or happy at the moment, my friends. I totally understand that. Underneath that, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. These are all things that are paused for you guys. Now, are they going to be paused forever? Absolutely not. They are not going to be paused for the entire month of October. It's just that this is and if we were to really get real creepy with it, again, those of you who have been with me for a long time, you guys know the vision that I had. It was like back in 2018 of the whole, river and the black cloak and all of that good stuff, and like the wheel and all of that. This is similar, metaphorically speaking, to that vibe. We're speaking in seasons, right? Because Mercury is retrograde, because Saturn is retrograde, right? So between the 10th and the 18th for you all, between the 10th and the 18th is when things are going to shift and turn for my Cancerians moving forward, right? That's when things are going to switch up for you guys. However, the thing that you would want to do during this particular time frame is kind of absorbing a lot of the things it is that I've said to you guys on today, and allowing yourself to find that balance. It's not often maybe a couple of times in the history of my channel has a reading this specific carried over from the month before. And now that I'm thinking about it, this happened to you all a few months ago. I think somewhere around July. It's like June and July were the same thing, or July and August were the same thing. It's something in that vicinity. So with that saying, Cancer, why something repeats, and I can tell you this about karmic cycles in our lives, period. Whenever we feel like we're experiencing the same thing repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again, right? It's because it's a lesson we have yet to learn. The reason why, if you watched that soul session last month in September and you guys were impacted by it, or it spoke to you, it resonated deeply, the only reason why this is coming up again is because a shift or change wasn't made to where the same message needed to come out again. So it's still speaking to the same dynamics of last month, even though the presentation is different. This one got real deep and ethereal, but you know, I like things like that. You know what I'm saying? Last month, we spoke about drive and passion. You can have both, right? And what I feel specifically at this moment, I'm picking up on somebody energy signature. Someone watched that last month, felt extremely inspired and empowered by it, and was like, wow, I can do this. I can have both. Something else happened, or something did not turn out the way that you wanted. Like maybe it was like, oh, they said they was going to call back on Friday. They didn't call back, or money didn't come in, whatever the case. And it's falling back into this same mindset. And it's almost the equivalent of forgetting that entirely, which is something that totally happens, right? Those of you who are on my network, the reason why I do weekly readings over there and why I'm accessible to everyone that's over there is because we need a refresher. It's very easy to watch a whole monthly overview, right? General overview on YouTube, to be motivated and inspired by it. And then to go back to life, stuff happens and you totally forget, right? Even like a lot of my people over there can vouch, even myself. There's been things that have come up in the weekly readings and we're all like, what's going on? And then somebody's like, oh, we got the tower for today. And everyone's like, oh, I forgot, right? So it's easy to forget in a week. So it's totally easy to forget in a month, right? But my intention with doing these is not just to entertain you, you know, it's really to get people to understand the process through which you go through this awakening process, and or the healing process. If we look at it in the process of therapeutically, it's all about timelining, identifying patterns. That's how we overcome the system that we exist in, right? Like Wheel of Fortune, it's always the same, much like the seasons. There's always going to be spring, and then summer, and then fall, and then winter, and then spring again, right? That happens every single year. There's always a New Year's Eve, right? There's always going to be a New Year's Day. There's always going to be a full moon and a new moon every single month. So everything in life follows an order and a pattern, whether it's in a 3D sense or it's in an ethereal sense, right? But the key is to identify these patterns. Whenever we keep hitting a brick wall, this is a message to change your perspective of that brick wall, as opposed to that brick wall coming, as I'm confident it has countless times in your life, as opposed to succumbing to it and believing the illusion that there's no way out of it. This can't change. Why would this happen to me? I could lose this, I could lose that, right? As opposed to succumbing to that, it's understanding that there's seasons and cycles. Much like the Wheel of Fortune, you guys know I study medieval tarot because I'm a nerd. But back in the day, the Wheel of Fortune had these flags on it, right? And the flag said, I reign at the very top. It would say up here, it's like, I reign, right? Here, it would say, I have reigned. On this side, it says, I will reign. And at the bottom, it says, I have no kingdom, right? And it speaks to the cycle of life. We're always there. We come to a time where we don't have nothing. Then we're in grind mode and we're like, we're going to get to the top. Then we're at the top. But there comes a time when the wheel shifts again and we're no longer number one. There comes a time where we feel that we're at the bottom of the wheel and nothing is working out for us. But the thing to remember is that it's always going to shift. As long as there's breath in your lungs, there's always possibility and there's always purpose. And it's about spirit, not just with you guys, but the whole collective. It's snapping everyone out of it. It's like, pay attention, you know? I talk a lot about patterns and synchronicities, not just for the sake of them, but to get people to understand that for every single day that you have been alive, you have been living the same day, every single day that you're alive. It just requires to see it from a different perspective to see it. And when we feel overcome by countless problems, with that shift of perspective, you can see everything that seems to be upset in your life is really just one thing that seems like many things, right? It's that one acorn that created the giant oak tree, right? With all of its branches and leaves. It started with one thing, right? And so the same with you guys. Now, this is fascinating for me because the fact that you guys reading went this way, I mean, everyone's has been entirely different this month, but the fact that y'all's just went this way, Cancer, this is extremely fascinating for me. But I feel, and I'm totally okay with that, I don't ever want to, you know, message has to be extremely like broad to where everybody and their mama can resonate with it. I'm 110% okay with, even if this was for one person. But if this is that extra little pat on the booty that you needed for you to get in alignment with your destiny for what it is that's owed to you, much like I said to Taurus, every human being deserves to live free of the prison in the mind. And the bigger sense of things metaphysically, that's what we're all here to do, to ascend to a higher consciousness, because the mindset we live in is extremely limited and it prevents you from really living a fulfilling and full life. And to see that my Cancerians are on the precipice of this, it's beautiful, you know? And I say for those, if there's anyone who is like, what is this lady talking about? You gotta listen with your spiritual ears, babe, not your physical ears. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But overall, Cancer, I feel for you guys, because of course the Wheel of Fortune speaks to Jupiter, which is interesting. All right. So Jupiter goes direct on the 20th of, no, I think it's the 18th, or is it the 20th? No, Jupiter goes direct the same day as Mercury. Good old Mars energy in there too. That's more in the beginning of the month. But with Mercury and Jupiter, they both go direct on, I'm so sorry for shoveling in your ear. They both go direct on the 18th of this month, right? And that's all about expansion. So I say this to say that this kind of like pressure cooker you guys are in, this is temporary. And the only reason why it's existing this way, because last month was all about diving deep and bringing up all of that stuff that's been there, you know, like hidden underneath it all. This is completing it. So this is you guys coming above ground, but there's a need to see that the manifestation of whatever that seed was that you guys encountered on last month, it's deeper than just, oh, you can make money off of your side hustle and your passion. It's really about the prison in one's mind, right? It's all about being a slave to fear, because to be blatant, that's what this is, right? It's more or less, there's many opportunities or things in life that Cancer had trouble seeing because there has been a blindfold of fear that has been preventing you from seeing. But don't beat yourself up about it, because like I said, as a therapist, I get it. Survival mode is a bitch. You know what I'm saying? PTSD is a bitch, right? It's like when you're in fight or flight mode, all of that naturally shuts down. I totally get it. But this is about a war for your freedom. It is a war within yourself, but it's a war for your freedom. That's really what you're fighting for. So humor yourself and challenge yourself to see past this, right? This Three of Cups in the reverse, don't allow this, you know, sadness to overtake you, or feeling bleak, or that things are going to continue this way, because I can tell you they're not. by the midpoint of October, things are going to shift in an epic way for you guys. But this is about you being ready for that shift, right? Because you don't want to go into this new cycle with this old mindset. Because if you do, which is the message for the whole collective, if we go into this new cycle that's prepping us for all of the goodies that's coming in 2022, if we go into this new cycle with an old mind, even though spirit has cleaned, the slate, wiped the board clean, we can sully it up again, right? If our minds don't change. So this is all about like a last push of spirit saying like, yo, stuff is about to change. There's hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Things are about to shift for you. Like the situation you're in, you won't be in it anymore, but you can still be in it if you choose to exist there in your mind, right? So I hope that makes sense, Cancer. I'm going to pull an oracle for you guys. This is so fascinating how this went. This just feels like I just got on my soapbox and did like a whole TED talk on some stuff, but I'm here for it, dude. Most of all of the readings I've done for all of the signs this month have been all intuitive messages, but that just means that your creator, your special, your creator, the author of the universe sees you fit, right? To hear what it is you need to hear to unlock you for your destiny, my friend. So the card you guys have is ask. Wait, hold on. Makeup hand. There we go. Ask. Ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We're governed by many universal laws. Please study those, by the way. Just Google universal laws and commit those to memory. Moving right along. And among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request. Ask, Cancer, ask. You are not alone, my friend. You are not alone. You never had to be alone. You never were alone. I love your face, Cancer. I hope that this made sense for you guys. I thank you for helping me learn how to use my autofocus. I also thank you guys for allowing me to deliver this message to you, because just delivering it to you has been a blessing to me. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Those of you who are Reiki practitioners out there, you know that when you send Reiki to someone, you also get a treatment. And I look at all of these readings that same way, to get a glance into what everyone else is going through. It's always a learning lesson for me. So I thank you for that. I thank you for listening up until this point in the video. I sincerely appreciate it. I also sincerely appreciate you guys being number 4 for the highest views for last month. So anywho, my Cancerian friends, I'm going over to my network. I'm going over to Patreon, Vimeo, YouTube members, all those places that I'm at, because I'm at all the places. You know what I'm saying? To do you guys extended, where we're going to look at a week by week play out, and to give you guys some additional guidance in reference to this month. So if you're about that life, my friend, follow me on over there. But if not, Cancer, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.